The NBA season normally starts with the champions kind of normally taking an L. Most people have come to expect that. Denver Nuggets said, hold my beer. We are going back into the NBA season, man. It's the season opener. This is P.kidd Talks NBA. You know what you clicked on. You know why you came. Let's get into it. Jokic has again shown us why, even if you think his game is unorthodox, he's the man. Opening night, ring night, historic ring, by the way. That ring right there has a story behind it that's cold. It's actually a one-of-a-kind ring. I should make another video on it. If that's interesting, y'all let me know. Put it in the comments. But realistically, on ring night, normally when, and we've seen some champions take some major L's, Jokic was like, skip it. 29 points, 11 assists, 13 rebounds, and he does it against someone who I thought would have a good chance to win MVP this season because of the expectations and him kind of being handed the reins to that type of to the team. Anthony Davis, who didn't have a bad showing, but it just wasn't Jokic. Man, the Denver Nuggets rolled into the season still cooking from the last season. Giving the Lakers everything and more. Realistically, the game, although at times was kind of close, Lakers did make some runs. Denver Nuggets never lost control. And that is one of the things I look forward to seeing a lot of. I see the Denver Nuggets being making a really good shot at repeating because, I mean, they really have everything. If you really look at the scores and how they distribute the ball and things of that nature, they have 3 people over 20 points. Usual suspects. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, as I just mentioned. Jamal Murray, a slept-on guard. He never gets brought up in the best point guards in the league, but I think, especially because he's a champion, he definitely should be. 21.6 assists, 2 rebounds. And MPJ, who's never seen a shot that he didn't like, 21 points, 6 assists, 6 assists. I said that wrong. Excuse me. I had to read that again. It was excuse me. It's a KCP had 20 points. I'm about to say, I know good and well MPJ had those. Let me read that back. Excuse me. KCP had 20 points. Jesus, I got that one wrong, right? I'm not finna edit that out. We finna keep this rolling. But MPJ did chip in with 12 rebounds, double-double for MPJ. I got to give him credit. 12 rebounds, 12 points. Also chipped in 2 assists. I was about to say that boy gets 6 assists. That's a game. Anyway, but again, just well distributed. And don't forget the X factor from last season, Aaron Gordon, chipping in with 15 points and 7 rebounds himself. The Denver Nuggets are poised to repeat. I mean, realistically, they are. Now, I know this is the first game and stuff like that, but I always say how you start the season does give you a lot. It is indicative of how you might finish the season. Barring injury, I think that they are good candidates to repeat because they just have everything you want there. And look at who they have on the bench who really didn't show as much as you would like them to, but they have a strong bench. The one thing I will say is this. The Denver Nuggets have shown that if you build your team the right way, you show continuity, you give continuity a chance, you can get some amazing things, some amazing results. And I like what they've put together. Now, here's the thing. Not every team that tries that Bulls have a generational talent like Jokic on their team. However, it does go to show that if you give time for development, if you have proper coaching there, what is possible. And you get to see that with the likes of Aaron Gordon, who had been on the Lakers, been on Orlando, stuff like that. Someone who probably people have kind of written off. He's a champion now. He's making good contributions. Guess what? Balling out. He was the X factor last season. I don't care what anyone says. You look at MPJ. A lot of people have written him off. Why would you give someone that much money? This, that, and the other. MPJ is a bucket. Continues to be a bucket. Even shows you that he can now rebound. Most people say all he did was shoot. Opening night, he shows you, hey, I can do more than just shoot. Not only am I going to give you 12, I'm going to give you another 12 with this double-double. And at the same time, KCP, who I have also written off. I'm not a huge KCP fan. Didn't like KCP's game for a long time. He shows up as well. And again, they don't leave anything to chance. They get it starting from the jump. They set the tone, and I love this for the Denver Nuggets. I like the fact that the Nuggets have pretty much set themselves up to be in contention for the next couple seasons. Just the way that they've built this team, the way that they've done things, they are They literally are a team that you can model yourself after. And I'm looking forward to the rest of what the season has. But I don't want to be totally disrespectful because, again, they did play the Lakers, who I have to sit there and say, I have to say it, are relying still too much on LeBron James. There was a stat that came up in this particular game that showed that when LeBron James was on the floor, that they were like plus 14. Plus 7. When he's not on the floor, they were minus 14. That goes to show me that maybe, and again, this is just the first game, but it goes to show me that maybe, just maybe, you need to make sure that you have the right people there, the right dogs there to help carry that workload. Because right now, Anthony Davis, 17.7 rebounds for us. Now, mind you, he did have to deal with Jokic. Jokic is the best big in the league. I don't care what anyone says. To guard him and still expect him to score on the other end is a tall task. On top of the fact that you have to worry about foul trouble, something he did have to worry about. You also have to worry about a couple. There's a lot to worry about when you expect them to go head up that you don't necessarily have to worry about on the other end when it comes to Denver. Denver have enough bodies and enough taller, bigger defensive guys, in my opinion. Like Aaron Gordon can definitely stick Anthony Davis. I'm not saying he's going to win that matchup. I'm saying that he can stick him. But there's nobody on the Lakers outside of LeBron and Anthony Davis who could even remotely slow Jokic down. So it's one of those things where unless they put a lot of a battery in Rui Hachimura's back and they sit him out there, which I think they did try to do a couple times, it's just not going to matter. It's just one of those things where he's a matchup nightmare, and the Lakers just don't have enough for it. Now, the Lakers, I think, are going to be poised to still have a good record this season, and I don't look at this one game as an indictment on what their season is going to be. It is still just one game. However, it isn't how you want to start your season off, especially if you are LeBron going into year 21, if you are Anthony Davis and you're touted to be the person who takes over. You don't want this to necessarily be the matchup you come into and people starting having that narrative already starting that you're just not ready. You're not the guy, this, that, and the other. You kind of want to sit there and squash any of that doubt. So this was a statement game through and through for both teams. It was necessary for them to have a good showing just so they can quell a lot of the doubters and things of that nature. And the Denver Nuggets, big dub, did it. Love it. 110%. All across the board, they were just in control. Lakers, a lot to hope for. A lot to be desired. But how they match up against everyone in the West, I still think they're going to be a top team in the West. They just have too much talent. Taurean Prince came out there and gave them some big buckets, 18 points. He was shooting well, especially in the first half. Austin Reeves still continuing his journey, 14 points, 8 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell is still an anomaly for me. I mean, he is like, I don't know. He's not mid, but it ain't great either. So if you find the mix between mid and that's what he is for me. Now, that's just my opinion. However, I don't know if I definitely would have rolled with him in the starter lineup over some of the other options, but that's yet to be seen. Rui Hachimura could have given you more. Christian Wood was a pickup that I saw that, I didn't see too much of Christian Wood out there, but I do expect them to kind of work that tandem. Christian Wood can definitely spread the floor, things of that nature. I think this just wasn't the team to actually showcase that again, but again, something that they could have definitely looked into. That definitely will be a nightmare matchup for other teams down the line. Christian Wood and Anthony Davis on the floor at the same time, one being a good shooter, one being a definite post presence, and then you throw in LeBron right there. It's funny I say you just throw in LeBron, right? One of the greatest of all time. I can expect that to be a nightmare there. But right now against this particular team, Christian Wood just didn't have a chance. Realistically, Christian Wood as a defender is just not. He's not that level of defender to stop a team like the Denver Nuggets. Now, mind you, there are only a couple teams in the realm, even close to the Denver Nuggets type of caliber, in my personal opinion, in this particular league. It's only about 4, maybe 5 teams. The rest, I can see the Lakers just not having as much of a hard time with at all. So I think this was a good test for them to see where they were, see what they need to work on, how to get better. I do expect the Lakers to bounce back. I do expect the next time that they see the Denver Nuggets for it to not to be as I thought this was pretty lopsided. I thought every time they made a run, the Denver just countered that punch and they were just ready. I never felt like the Lakers had an actual chance to lead But I do expect the next time I see them for that to be a different story, barring any injury. But again, those are just my takes, man. I'm happy to see that the NBA is back. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts on what you thought about the game, who you thought would actually show. I mean, we all know Jokic showed out, but what do you expect, and who do you expect to be the key or the X factor this particular season for both teams? I really think that Austin Reeves for the Lakers is going to be the X factor for them, how his career takes off. I also think Rui Hachimura and how he steps up. Along with, I'm a big Cam Reddish fan, I really am, but I don't think I think he still has a long way to go to fit in this particular team. So those are my X factors for the Lakers. As far as the Nuggets are concerned, I've been an Aaron Gordon fan for a while. I think he's gonna be the key. And Christian Braun, believe it or not, Brown, it says, yeah, somebody help that boy. It says Braun. I don't care what nobody say. Now I don't know where AUN says Brown, but that's Braun. But all right, cool. Brown, if that's what you want to be called, that's what you be called. Your mama called you that, that's what I'm gonna call you. But those are the two people who I actually see who are going to be constant X factors. Obviously, Reggie Jackson's a bucket, but Aaron Gordon and stuff like that. And remember, they still do have another big who can get boards and still get busy in DeAndre Jordan just sitting there stashed on the bench. They have a deep team, and they can go the distance. But again, give me your thoughts on what you think they'll do this season. I expect them to be Western Conference Finals type situation. You know, let me know. These are overreactions on first days. It's ring day. It's NBA. It's P.kidd Talks NBA. We back, baby. Throw your comments in there. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.